Hello there, my friends. I know it's been a while. I'm finally trying to get back into making videos. So a couple months back, I got this Nintendo Music app as part of my Nintendo Switch Online subscription, and I was excited. I was gonna make playlists with my favorite Nintendo songs in there, and it was gonna be great. My main goal actually with getting this was to take all the Mario Galaxy and Mario Galaxy inspired music and put it into a playlist, not just from the Mario Galaxy games, but from other games that, have little maybe motifs that reference the Mario Galaxy soundtrack. I'll get back to that later. But I was going through here and, I was trying to listen to some music. And I was like, you know what? You know what series I love? I love Pikmin. So I searched Pikmin. And I'm like, oh yeah, a Pikmin playlist. Yeah, let's look at that. See what songs there are. What? And I'm like, wait a minute. There's only one game listed. Just Pikmin 4. And that made me realize Nintendo Music, the app, only has the one Pikmin game. The one soundtrack. I was like, what the heck? I wanted to listen to Pikmin 3 music or Pikmin 2 music. I like listening to it because it's genuinely a good soundtrack. And I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe it's just because it's a niche series, maybe it's, too niche. They only wanted to have the most recent game on there, the one that came out 2023. Sure, that's fine. I also like Metroid. That's a little niche, but, we'll see. And Metroid fares a little better. Barely. The only Metroid games are the original and the second one and Metroid Prime. That's all. Not even Metroid Dread. Okay, that's weird. Metroid Dread is Metroid Dread, that's a recent game. That came out a little bit before Pikmin 4, so they've had plenty of time to put that in here. And that made me wonder, why is there so little music in here? You may be thinking, oh Nerdstitution, you're being silly, you're overreacting. This is just a free app that you can listen to music because it's a free app. It's not a big deal. It's okay if they don't have every single Nintendo game in here. That's fine. Except this isn't free. You have to have you have to be subscribed to the Nintendo Switch Online subscription in order to have access to this. So you would think it would have a little bit more, not necessarily every song, but a lot of the main ones. But Nerdstitution, you're being silly again. You're just looking at niche series. Oh, am I? Am I really? Okay, fine. Let's do Nintendo's firstborn child, Donkey Kong. I actually haven't looked up Donkey Kong. Well, what do you know? None of the recent Donkey Kong games are here. None of them. But you can listen to the arcade game if you want to. Oh wow, I can listen to Donkey Kong on the NES. I'm glad I can do that, and yeah, I'm very happy that these games are here. I'm very happy, that Donkey Kong Country 2 is here. That has some awesome music. But no Donkey Kong Country Returns, no Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, and no Donkey Kong Bonanza. That's unfair. There's a special release of Donkey Kong Bonanza where they have some of the main themes. But yeah, it's like, okay, well, there aren't a ton of Donkey Kong games, so maybe that's not as important. Maybe it's just got to be a more recent franchise that's a main line, and that's where you're starting to see this line of thought, right? And you're also starting to see why the title of this video is the way it is, because this app does suck. Because if this were a free service, then yeah, who cares, as long as they have, you know, a couple of the main games. But this isn't free. This is locked behind a paywall for an online subscription that nobody's gonna have unless they're a dedicated Nintendo fan, right? Nobody just has a Nintendo Switch online subscription because, for the heck of it, or to listen to this music. If there is someone out there, please let me know. But like, it's weird that they would have this locked behind the subscription and then not offer all the songs. But again, oh, I'm just being silly. Surely, you know, something such as The Legend of Zelda, that would have, you know, because The Legend of Zelda has some of the best Nintendo music of all time. What about that? Alright, sure, I'll look at The Legend of Zelda. They got Skyward Sword, that's a great soundtrack. They got, Zelda 2, Ocarina of Time, the original Zelda, Phantom Hourglass, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Wind Waker. They got some good stuff here. No Twilight Princess, though. No Majora's Mask, though. I didn't realize that. They have no Majora's Mask. They have no Twilight Princess. Yeah, there's some great Zelda music in there. No Link's Awakening. Not even the remake. That is a pretty recent game. That's from 2021. Why is that not in here? I genuinely don't understand. Well, surely, Nintendo Music just hasn't been around long enough for them to add all this stuff to it. Apart from the fact that they should have had all this stuff in there in the first place. When did Nintendo Music app release? October 30th, 2024. It has been over a year. It's been, we're getting into a year and a half now. This has been around. And it's you can't even have the Link's Awakening in here. Also, let me mention, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom were recently released. This was like, as I was thinking about making this video, they didn't have Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom in Nintendo Music. Let me see if I can find. I can spell. When did Breath of the Wild get its music in Nintendo Music app? Let's see if I can get an answer. Maybe not. Maybe I was wrong about that. What about Tears of the Kingdom, though? Tears of the Kingdom. Maybe it was Tears of the Kingdom. Okay. Well, maybe I was wrong. But still, June 2nd of 2025, nearly a year later, why wasn't it in there? Why wasn't it in there in the first place? The reason I bring up the fact that, you know, some things haven't been in there, Paper Mario Origami King just got added like a couple weeks ago. Origami King. And again, kind of a niche series, but like February 9th. This is like literally a month ago. They just put Origami King in, and that game's been out since 2020. What are we doing, Nintendo? But surely, Nintendo's favorite child, you know, is exempt. It's got all the main games, of course. You know, it doesn't need all the Mario parties or even all the Mario and Luigi's, although that would be nice. I love that series. But, looking through this, matter of fact, let me be more specific. Super Mario 3D World. Huh. No 3D World. That's weird. That's a mainline Mario game. Super Mario Sunshine? What? Yeah. Even Mario Kart, there's like nothing. There's barely anything. Mario Kart is just I believe it's just 7 and 8. And maybe the old one. Yeah, Mario Kart 64, Mario Kart 8, Super Mario Kart, and Mario Kart 7. What are we doing, Nintendo? An entire era is just not in here. Like, there's no Wii games. Well, but there's Wii Fit. You can listen to the Wii Fits, and I'm glad. You know, this is awesome. This is good. But, like, I don't understand. Why do we got Me Plaza from Street Pass? You can listen to that music, but you can't listen to Super Mario Sunshine. You can't listen, and it's ridiculous because the alternative to listening to this music is looking it up on YouTube. Why isn't it available in the Nintendo's own music app? Because I'm pretty sure that's why this app exists. It's so they can go to YouTube and be like, hey, that's our music. We're going to put a strike on that and make it so that music isn't available for people to listen to. So I don't understand. Like, there's no new Super Mario Bros. Wii, but they got the DS one, but they got the Wii U one because there's the Switch re-release. What the heck? I don't understand why they're so picky about, oh, well, this one will get music, but this one won't. No Pikmin 3, nothing in Mario and Luigi except for Brothership. Paper Mario just Thousand Year Door until a month ago. They put Origami King in. They're missing key games from Zelda and Mario. I don't understand it. So when I say Nintendo Music app is pathetic, I mean it. They're missing out on a ton of just excellent music for no reason. Like, there's no reason to like add in all these soundtracks. Like this makes even less sense in my mind than having the games be added in at a slow amount. I don't know. It makes more sense for them to just be like, yeah, you know, if you have the online subscription, you can listen to almost all of the Nintendo music. But like, should that be an expectation? Kinda, because you have to pay you have to have a different service to have access to this service. So why don't they have the music that the Nintendo fans would love in the app that they love? Oh, and here's one last thing. I know this has been going on for a long time, basically just me saying, oh, Nintendo bad because they don't have my favorite songs. There is 0 music from the Super Smash Bros. Series, which is insane. Not even like the special release with the main themes. You know, they don't even have that. Because, you know, I could understand that, oh, we couldn't put all the Smash Bros. Music in because of copyright issues with other games. I get that. You're not going to put the Sega Sonic Reach for the Stars or the Kingdom Hearts music. I get that. I understand that. But at the same time, you can't even have the main Battlefield theme or Final Destination or the menu or even the Brawl main theme because that slaps. I don't understand. I really don't. So, I don't know. This app is kind of pathetic. Like, yeah, it's got, you know, your basic features. I don't even want to talk about them. You can loop songs, you can put them in a playlist. That's nice and all, but like, if this were free, I would understand why there's so little music in here. But if it isn't. It's behind this paywall. You have to have a subscription to Nintendo Switch Online, and they just have a weird selection. Like, why can I listen to Pilot Wings 64 but not Donkey Kong 64? Not that I care, but I do. I want to listen to the DK rap. So what are we doing here, Nintendo? So yeah, that's just another thing I'm going to throw out there and, you know, add to the flames of boo Nintendo bad. Generally, I'm not like that. I don't really care that much. But like, I genuinely, it baffles me why they want to just trickle in all these soundtracks to these old games that have amazing music, and the alternative is just looking it up on. I don't understand. Why wouldn't they have just Not even all. That's not even what I'm saying. But like the bare minimum, like the mainline stuff, or at least I don't know. And there's probably so many things that I'm missing because I don't even know. I don't even know what's not here because there's so little. So anyways, take this video for what you will, and hope you have a great day. I'm going to use background music from the games I mentioned that aren't here. Oh, well, but don't worry guys, we can listen to the Mahjong NES soundtrack. So glad that we can do that. It's not even a minute long. What the heck? Didn't even know there was a Mahjong game on Nintendo.